so that we know that you're watching, and that's so I can be aware, because when it's live I can see the number of people watching, but otherwise, side tangent, sorry. So we are doing self-care through holiday season using the advent calendar that I had as a child growing up and the symbolism coming through that. So to give you all an idea of what this is, I pick an ornament right before I sit down and just psychically channel the message that's going to come through to you guys. So it has never been like, oh, I think this is what this means. I think this is what this means. And it's just good to for you guys to know that a lot of the things that I do about this is doing it through channeling. Okay, so we are going to do today for self-care the mushroom. And I know I can hear you all saying now, the mushroom, why? It's not in the holiday spirit. And in truth, anything can be in the holiday spirit if you have a big enough imagination. But what the mushroom reminds me of is that there are so many different things that are like that we go, oh, that's weird, or oh, that's bad, especially with self-care. If it comes from a place of judgment and it comes from a place of being like in the self, in the ego, that we go, oh, that's not self-care. Don't yuck someone's yum. Don't yuck someone else's self-care. That's not the point. The point is for you to have your self-care. The point is for you to be able to move through this holiday season what's best for you. And so if you are throwing shade on someone else's self-care, that's a you problem, straight up. Hello, Raven Rising. So with this human bopping on, so a lot of people find it weird that Raven Rising, I'm gonna pick on you now, meows. I find it to be awesome because I meow also. But that's one of the things with the symbolism of the mushroom. It's like, if it's weird but it helps you, do it. If other people don't understand, it doesn't matter. Your self-care is not meant to be about other people. Your self-care is not meant to appease other people. Your self-care is not meant to make other people comfortable. It is meant to get you through this holiday season. It is meant to help you as best you can in your daily life. And so doing things that actually serve you, one, may make other people feel uncomfortable. Two, they may make you feel uncomfortable, because guess what? Shadow work is absolutely a part of self-care, and it is a part that is often overlooked because, oh my god, it's uncomfortable. Yeah, that happened. Everybody just deal with it, go with the flow. And so it's about being able to be true to yourself without judging anyone else or yourself. A note that I saw it on TikTok recently. So I want to be clear, it's not mine, but I cannot remember the creator's name for the life of me. I am so sorry. When doing shadow work, the point is not to purge like diarrhea or vomiting. It is meant to be like cleaning out your fridge. You take stuff out and then you put more stuff in to feed your soul. You take out the decay to put more stuff in to feed your body. You take out the stuff that no longer serves you and that you'll never use because it's useless, to be able to put something in that will actually help you. The thing that I did in my fridge recently is I realized that I never used sesame oil, and it's been there for 3 years. I used it once. I biffed the recipe so bad that now, like, the smell of it makes me feel weird. So guess what? I threw it away because I used it once, and no, it was 3 years old. So throw stuff out. That is a big part of shadow work with self-care, is that you're taking stuff out while putting other stuff in. And it's not just shadow work, it's also trauma work. This is something that is discussed a lot while people are healing from trauma, whether mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. You're not meant to just get rid of all the trauma. That would be great. That would be awesome. That would be so simple. That's not the way it goes. What actually happens is you start taking out one block of, like, this was awful, oh my God, and you're replacing it and you're building your life that way. It's not taking everything out until you're an empty shell and then filling it with all the happiness. It's taking one piece out and putting in a good piece. Taking one piece out of shit, putting in a good piece. Taking one piece out of trauma, putting in a good piece. That's what self-care is about. It's not about deleting everything so that you're left with nothing. It's about switching things out. It's about substituting. It's about leveling up. It's about taking care of the things that you know that you have to take care of, and also discovering the new ways that you're going to have to take care of yourself as you're growing and changing, because that happens. As you grow, as you change, there are things that I did when I was younger that I do not consider self-care now, but they very much were a form of self-care when I was younger. And there are things I thought of when I was younger that I thought were gross, that were my own little mushroom things of self-care. And now I cannot get enough of them. A big thing actually is eating spicy food. For those of me, hello, Mama Santi. Shout out from the blocks, Mama Santi in the blocks. So what I did was I was raised very Irish, and so everything was very bland with eating, and I could not imagine a form of self-care being eating certain spicy foods to jumpstart my immune system or to enforce anti-inflammatory properties. I would have thought that was a big punishment, and now I make two different dishes that specifically are meant to be so spicy that it actually makes my nose run, because I'm feeding my body in a way that's going to boost my immune system and take care of the anti-inflammatories when I'm sick. So they change. They change. They're meant to change. They're meant to morph. They're meant to get different. They're meant to evolve. Your self-care is not meant to stay the same always. It's meant to grow with you. And if it's not growing with you, I don't know how, I know which, okay. So Raven Rising is a brilliant academic, and I love them so much, and they are a lot smarter than me. And so mushrooms are mycelium. Did I get that right? And mycelium are connections. And so, yes, I agree. The reason why I'm saying this, because I didn't know how to pronounce that word. I've seen it before on Facebook, because mushrooms are a fad now. Oh, for those of you who are going to like Renaissance Festival, mushroom hats are all the rage, and they're big enough that they like cover, you're in the shade, because some of us burn really easily. So it's being aware of that. And side tangent, that is about self-care, but not about the mushroom and the shadow work and the connections and everything like that. I found out recently, so I am in my mid-30s. There are certain things that we just don't know. And knowing where you come from, knowing what's hereditary, knowing what your environment has made you susceptible to is a big part of self-care that we don't talk about. So my whole life, I don't know if you can tell, I am super pale, and the sun actually hurts my skin, but I thought it hurt everyone my whole life. I thought everyone was just a psycho outside, because when the sunlight touches my exposed skin, it actually like burns. Not like, ooh, that's warm, but I mean, like, it is incredibly uncomfortable and painful for me to be outside in direct sunlight. And I was 26 when I accused my mom of being a masochist and needing possibly to go to a hospital because she was outside so much. My mother has beautiful, beautiful dark skin. She is an olive goddess, just chestnut brown all the time. And she thought I was insane at 26 because she did not understand why I had said that. And at 26, my entire life, the sun had hurt my body. At 26, I learned that that's not normal. I learned that you should not feel physical pain when you go into the sun. So part of my self-care is being out of the sun. Part of her self-care is getting as much sun as possible, because she gets energy from it. I am a moon person. She's a sun person all the way. But the reason I bring this up is because literally last night, I am in my mid-30s. At 26, I realized that the sun should not do that, and that I was photophobic. A decade later, I asked my dad, who has skin like me, and I'm like, hey, does the sun hurt you? Just a silly little question. Well, yeah. You're telling me it's hereditary? You're telling me this has been like, if I would have known, if I would have been inquisitive, if I would have been aware of that when I was younger, I would have been able to take care of myself much better and incorporate that into my self-care. So knowing where you come from, knowing the hereditary things in your environmental, what you're exposed to, can help with your self-care. If you're always exposed to pollen and it makes you sick, it's good to be aware of that. If you've never been exposed to certain foods because your family doesn't eat them, like, that's a form of self-care. Just being aware of that, so that you may be allergic to something that you don't know, or you may love something that you don't know, and it may become your comfort food. Any and all options are available. So we're talking about things that are the mushroom, are the connections, are the things that we do for self-care that other people might not understand. And I get that mushrooms are like a big fad right now, and everyone's like, oh my God, I love mushrooms, which is great. Love mushrooms. I don't care. But in the majority of the time people look at mushrooms and they're like, "Oh, I don't like fungus. I don't like fungus." I'm not talking about like eating mushrooms at a restaurant. People don't like fungus. People don't like things that grow where they shouldn't, or it proves that it's dirty or unclean or just unsavory. And sometimes that's what self-care is. Sometimes self-care is doing the dirty and unclean and unsavory and not caring what anyone else thinks as you're taking care of yourself in that way. It's taking care of the things that no one else wants to take care of. You have to take out the trash in your own life, metaphorically and literally, to make room for better things. And if you just keep everything going, it's going to be an overgrowth of things that you don't want, which is not ideal for anyone or anything in the self-care realm. So during this holiday season, remember that there are going to be some weird things that people give you some weird looks about, but whatever it is, as long as it's awesome, as long as it's taking care of you, do it. As long as it's something that helps you with your self-care, to help you through this Advent season, to help you through this holiday season, do it. It is essential that you take care of yourself first during this holiday season, no matter what that looks like. And if people judge you, that's a them problem. 100% that's a them problem. So work on that this holiday season. Go forth, be the hero of your own story, of course. Also, if you're having trouble with your self-care during this holiday season, remember that you can schedule a session with a link in the bio, and we will get you through this. We will get you through the holiday season. We will work through it. Everything will work out. You all are awesome. I will see you tomorrow to discuss the next ornament. Bye.